Okay, I'm just going to get started now. So thanks everyone for joining us for our Find Our Blocks Masterclass. I've just muted you guys, so if you want to kind of pop anything in the chat box, and I'll share the chat in the group. You can then kind of ask questions or whatever as I'm talking, and I'll answer them there and then. But otherwise, at the end, we're going to have a bit of a chat about any questions that you've got around any of this, and also go into a little bit more detail. So if you've got any kind of questions during the process, then just pop it in the chat box and I'll answer them as I'm going. So the first thing I wanted to share here, and I don't usually do anything like this, but I was guided to, is I pulled a card for us from the Ascended Masters, little oracle cards here. And the card that came up for us was Yes from Ganesh. We love him. I've actually got one of him on my table too, which is interesting. Give him a little kiss. So I'm going to just read what that means, and how actually relevant it is to our Finding Our Blocks little segment here. So all the doorways are open for you and the pathway is clear. Any previous obstacles have been removed, so keep a positive mindset about the situation and ensure the best possible outcome. So the answer to your question is yes, that this is a good time to make a move or change. Your prayers have been heard and are being answered, and you just have to have positive support for this situation and keep the faith. So thank you, Oracle cards, for giving us that and confirming to us that we are on our way out from clearing our beliefs and so forth and blocks. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about first off, is the fact that everyone says to themselves, oh, I must have a block around this. Also, when you talk to a lot of different people, they'll say, oh, you must have a block. Coaches will say you must have a block. I remember when I was working with a business coach in 3 businesses ago, when they said, you're doing all the right things, you must have a block. And I'm like, what do I do with the block? And they're like, we don't do that work. So that's where I set out to go, well, find out what blocks are and why I have a block and what to do about it. And that's where I found EFT, which is tapping. So that then took me on this amazing journey to get me to where I am now. However, you know, working now closely with the universe and all the energies in the universe and getting more information about, you know, what's going on this planet, I've actually been told and experienced that blocks are actually a myth. And if anyone says to you that you've got a block, you can pretty much maybe not even listen or even just acknowledge that that's come up and there's something to look into it for you. So what blocks are is simply just a belief that's not aligned with who you are. So whenever people learn that they have a block, what they tend to do is it puts them into that mode of, I don't know what to do with this. And as soon as they're aware that they have this block, or someone tells them they have this block, it puts you into, well, I can't do anything about it. But if you change the word block to belief, then you can go, okay, I can look into beliefs and I can look into what beliefs are actually stopping us. So the way that I use blocks and then beliefs is simply then an opportunity to take a journey into our inner world and then help us to master that inner self. The key around that is that this is where we can use our emotions to find out what's really going on in there. So what we're going to do is our emotions are going to tell us exactly what our beliefs are that aren't in alignment with who we are. So the first things that we need to do, there's 3 things that we can do to find out what beliefs, not blocks, what beliefs are stopping us. So the first thing we need to do is just look around us at things that are going on in our life as clues. And if something's not working, that there is a belief that we've learned from somewhere else that isn't aligned with who we are. Again, a lot of people don't even know who they really are. So again, it's a beautiful experience to go deeper into who we really are. The next thing is looking at how people treat us. Looking at how people treat us is actually a great way to find out what's going on within us and how we're treating ourselves, which isn't in alignment with who we are. And also what we desire is helping us to work out exactly what's going on within us, because what we would desire, we either have one way of looking at a desire or another way, and we can see when we're out of alignment with ourselves simply by our desires. So using those three elements is really powerful then for us to be able to find out where our blocks and our beliefs are, and then look at how we can change them into the truth, which is what I call the truth. So get your pens and paper ready. We're going to get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to look at, and again, if you've stuck or anything or got any questions, just pop it in the little chat box there. So the first thing you need to write down is what isn't working in your life. Write down your issue. And you can just choose one thing for this exercise, and then later you can do all the others. Because technically we are here to actually challenge ourselves and to move through stuff. So that's our purpose, really. So let's make it fun. So the first thing is, what isn't working for us and what is the issues that we're facing at the moment? Okay, so the next thing we need to look at is, what is my emotion, or what is the emotion around that thing? So it might be happy, sad, or not happy, it'd probably be sad if it's something that's an issue. Sad, frustrated, stuck, whatever. So just one word. What is your emotion around that? Then the next question that we ask ourselves around this is, what does that mean about me? That I'm feeling that about that. What does it mean about me? Now, technically, number 3 is the belief, the subconscious belief. So what does that mean about me? Whatever that is that's come up is actually the belief that we've learned. So that is one of the most powerful awarenesses that we can have around this, is, what does this mean about me? The next question is question 4, which is, where did that belief come from? That I'm hopeless, not capable, whatever it is. Where did that come from? Usually it's the first thing that comes to mind. You can just write that down. And usually that belief has come from someone else, or it's come from a perception of what you've learned from someone else. So either someone has told you that this is who you are, or you've then decided that you are this because of what's happened in the past. And then number 5, which is the last one, which is, what is the truth? And I just want you to write down, what is the truth, and just allow the truth to come out around this issue. And technically, what is the truth is the truth. And so you can pretty much reframe that the issue isn't really an issue when you know what the truth is. So do any of you guys want to share your results of your questions? And if you don't, that's okay. Looks like Alexis is still writing. No? Alexis, do you want to share your results?
Okay.
Goodo.
I think I need to go outside today because I've been on the computer a lot, so I'm a bit spacey.
That's okay. I'll help you around it.
I had what's not working for me. I had body.
Mm-hmm.
What is the emotion around that thing? Suffocation. What does that mean about me? Not listening to my body. Where did that belief come from? It's a perception from the mother line.
Yep.
And I said, what is the truth? I just had sovereign being in a body.
Yeah, well, that sounds good.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And then I've got treat as such. So if you were like, if you think about sovereignty, you think royalty.
Yeah.
You think a royal body would, you wouldn't treat it like crap, would you?
No way.
So that's my truth. Sovereign being in a body.
God, that's almost bringing tears to my eyes. That is a beautiful awareness. So that is pretty.
And I'm not thinking.
Good, I love that. But that's pretty much your answer. Like, that is your truth. And so from now on, you can then just own that. And, that's so beautiful. So well done for that. That is just so beautiful. And that word sovereign body, oh my God. That is powerful.
So, sovereign being in a body.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is funny because my back was hurting and it's still hurting at the moment, which is why I'm on the bed. It was hurting this morning, like the lower back. So, which is funny. I pulled some cards last night and one of them was Archangel Michael, first chakra. And I was like, oh, funny that. It's all about being safe and feeling safe and protected.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was funny.
Which you are.
Yes.
Yeah. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That is lovely. Fantastic. Thank you. That's awesome. So I hope you guys got some really good awareness around, what your issue is and what the truth is, and that it's actually not really an issue at all, which is fantastic. The only reason why it was an issue is because of the belief, and the belief comes from what does that mean about you. So these 5 questions are really powerful questions. I had a really amazing session yesterday with a client, Juliet, if you watch this replay, you'll know I'm talking about you, where I was telling her these 5 questions. And she actually said, and the last one is, what is the truth? And as I was going through, I said, what is the truth? And she said, do you know what the thumb is? And I said, no. She said, the thumb is like, and if you can Google it, I haven't even looked up, but something about the thumb is the reminder finger. So whenever you hold onto the thumb, that's actually the reminder as to what is the truth. And so this is apparently, if you go through the questions and then kind of put the truth on your thumb, then whenever you forget the truth, you can just hold your thumb and that'll bring the truth. That was her philosophy around that. So that was kind of cool. So, okay, so the next question that we're going to go through, next exercise that we're going to go through to find out a little bit more about what blocks and beliefs we have, is how people treat us. So what they do is just thinking about how people treat us, and it can be not only how they treat us, but also how we feel. Again, it's all about emotion, how we feel about some other people. So there might be some people that might irk you, annoy you, or whatever. If it's not that they don't treat you a certain way, but they just annoy or irk you, you can just say that is the thing that you're going to look at. So if it's just they irk you or annoy you, just write down that they irk and annoy you. But if you go back for others who actually have people who treat them a certain way, what we then do is we write down, okay, so this person treats me this way. And then again, how do I feel about that? And then looking into the feelings around those two. So you can either just have the feeling of how that person makes you feel, or looking at how that person treats you, and then how do you feel about that? Then the next thing we need to look at is that what is the message that this person is giving me, or the gift that this person is giving me? So it's really kind of hard sometimes when this person really annoys you or irks you. and then it's like, if you use this process, it's so empowering because you can actually see that they are in fact a gift. And if you look at The Little Soul in the Sun from Neale Donald Walsch, she actually at the end says, you know, everyone around us is angels, regardless of who they really are. So you can look at what they do or what they bring out in you, how they treat you, look at exactly how they make you feel, and then bring up, well, what is the gift in this? And what does it mean about me? And it'll bring up a belief in you that is stopping you from moving forward. So then you go into what is the truth. And then so it's just finding out what these beliefs are and then literally just downloading the truth. The other thing you can do around how people treat you is you can also look at the mirror and you can see where they actually treat you in a certain way and how you treat yourself that way, which isn't in alignment with who you are. So there's all these different things that you can do around use around how people treat you. Again, feel into it and to see exactly what resonates with each situation, because sometimes if you look at exactly how someone treats you and go, well, the mirror, I don't really think I treat myself that way. You then need to go into how do they make me feel and what does that mean about me, and then what is the truth. So going through that process. So that's another way to find out what beliefs are in there that are stopping you from moving forward. And then the last one is what you desire. So what you desire is a key element into your psyche and actually into the reason why you're here and what you're meant to be doing. So going into that place as to what you desire is actually really powerful, because you usually have two feelings around what you desire. You either have passion, love, and like you're driven around what that is, and that helps you to keep going. Or you might have frustration, anger, annoyance if what you desire isn't actually coming through. So I want you now just write down the first thought that comes to mind. What do you desire? Just write that first thing down. What do you desire? And then you go underneath that. How do I feel about that? And you'll see you'll have one of two feelings. You either have those really positive, strong, powerful feelings, which are great. That's actually who you really are. But then if you have frustration, anger, annoyance, that means that's actually a sign that that thing that you'll desire will never happen. And so you need to then go into, okay, what is the emotion? Frustration, anger, annoyance. What does that mean about me? Where did that come from? And what is the truth? And you really need to turn this around to get it back to being a passion and being driven and really, really in love with this thing that you desire, which will then lift your vibration back up to a level that'll allow you to manifest what you want. So that's really the key around that. So you've got those three different elements that you can use to find out what your blocks are. And it could be blocks to success, money, health, love, even, business, whatever it is. You can use all these processes to work out exactly what's really going on and then to bring your truth through. So does anyone have any questions about those three processes? I'll just quickly go around and ask each one of you how you went. So Alexis, I'll start with you. I've just unmuted you. So did you get any cool awarenesses from doing this?
Yeah, it's funny. For that last exercise was like, what do I desire? First thought was love. And I'm like, I already have that. Like, I have heaps of love, especially my husband. He's very affectionate.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so how do I feel about that? And I was like, confusion. I thought I already had that.
Ooh.
The message I got from that was love for self, being withholding and feel depleted. So I haven't been filling myself up.
Yeah.
I got love from everyone else and giving, but I feel like kind of a shell because I'm empty, which is actually connected to I've been struggling with exhaustion, constantly tired, constantly just not zero focus, and yeah, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay. Now I know why.
Yeah. So what can you do? What is the truth around this?
The truth, I need to fill myself up.
Yeah. Do you know how to do that?
Because I already am love, but I need to recognize it.
Yeah. So you're already complete. That is the truth. You are already complete and you are already love, like you're pure love and joy. So it's, I think about just that inner reconnecting to yourself. And the first thing that comes to mind, I'm sure you probably do meditation and things like that, but probably just with the intention of going into a meditation to be able to reconnect to that part of you and just to receive some information as to how you can just be. The words that are coming through is, how can I just be? How can I be okay being who I am?
Yep.
And knowing that that's enough. Before, I think you probably may have thought that you had to do something to be enough. But now it's just acknowledging that you already are. And so how you find that is really important. So.
Yep.
Oh,
you know. Oh, thanks, sweetie. Love you too.
It's going to be a lovely little adventure for you. So, yeah, and share in the abundance group if your journey on that, because that would be awesome. You probably help people by what you go through by doing that. So that would be awesome. Yeah. Thank you, darling, and thank you for sharing. Michelle, I'm going to unmute you. How did you go with those exercises?
I liked it a lot. I liked the reframe of the block and the belief. That was really helpful. And when I did the first exercise, what's not working, and love came up, and when I answered what's the emotion around that, I definitely feel frustrated because I've been single for a long time, and I feel like I'm a good catch and I don't know what I'm missing. And what it means to me. I did feel like maybe I don't fully trust in the divine, that the divine will take care of me. And where did that belief come from? I think it came from maybe pressure from my mom or my grandma that I need to get married, which I do love and see myself doing. And that maybe I had the belief that I need to make love happen, which we all know doesn't work.
No.
And the truth for me is, if I focus more on myself, I know that, when I do the things I love, I'll just magnetize the man to me very easily.
And that's all you have to do.
I know, right? It's so simple, but we complicate it.
We're just humans. We just do that. So also just similar to what Alexa says is knowing that you already, like, it's like this whole thing where we're searching to make ourselves something. Whereas when we just own that we are already love, it's like, oh, we can relax now. We are already that, and it's about owning that and letting that come out. So that'll be a really powerful process for you to just, say, yes, there are things that we can do to love ourselves up externally, but at the end of the day, it's a reconnection to that inner love. And the most efficient way that I've found for us to connect to that inner love is actually by being honest and telling the truth. Firstly to ourselves and then to others is the best way that you can reflect or to give yourself love. Because in most parts, we don't tell ourselves or others the truth. And that is actually a denial of yourself. And that's where you and your body plays a part in this. So that's where you and your body decides, well, you're actually lying to yourself, lying to us, lying to others. So we're just not going to work for you anymore because you're not operating from truth, which is, in fact, truth equals love and love equals truth.
Okay.
It's hard initially, but there is a process, and I'll just share that with you quickly. There's a process that I've learned over time that really helps to be able to speak the truth, is by sticking to facts with no emotion. So if there is something that you want to say to someone that is the truth, you need to go within and say, okay, so how can I say this focusing on the facts? And of course, when you focus on the facts, number one, they can't argue with facts. They are what they are. But number two, you will not have emotion around facts.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Everything else is perception. And if you're trying to argue something from a place of perception and perfection, just use that, from perfection and perception, it's just your opinion. And you have to acknowledge that everyone has a different opinion. So it's more of an acceptance of them and you having a different opinion. But if you have a fact that you know that is true and you need to get that across, then you just speak from the fact, and you speak the facts from your stomach, which doesn't actually hold. It's funny because you think you hold a lot of emotion in your stomach, but we hold a lot of our emotion in our head, which is why it keeps coming up so often. When we speak from our gut, which is our truth, it just comes out. And I'll just tell a little quick story as to how this has happened for me, which blew my mind away. And I don't know if you've heard it, but I'll just tell it anyway, is that I was lined up at this juice bar, and I was second in line at this juice bar, right? There's this man in front of me, and he's there with his children, and they're there trying to work out what they wanted to order. And I already knew what I was going to order, and I was just standing there waiting, and I was fine to do that. So the man at the counter called me over and said, do you want to put your order in? And as soon as I went over and I went to put my order in, this guy started abusing me and like yelling at me. He's this big Greek guy, like this massive big guy, yelling at me. And I'm actually not that tall or big. So he's yelling at me, and I just had no emotion or anything. I simply just turned around and said, do you guys know what you want? And they said no. And I said, well, I do. It's just a fact. I know what I want, you don't, so I'm going to order. And he just didn't have anything to say around that. So this is where normally I would actually start to panic and like, oh my God, someone's yelling at me. Oh my God. But I just went into, what's going on here? Like, why are you yelling at me for a start? And I've just gone into just telling the truth. Have you ordered? No. Well, I know what I want. Or do you know what you want? I know what I want, so I'm going to order. And that's just a fact.
I like that.
It's just a really cool example that this really works, but also, dealing with, other halves or friends or family, especially family, sticking to the facts will always get you through. And it's actually really interesting when you go through that process, when you're talking to them, and you can then receive in your mind, like while you're talking, and you can feel your emotion. If you feel emotion come up while you're talking to someone, you then go, what is the fact around this? You'll always see that it's always your perception that mucks you up.
It's so true.
And then if you don't want to really deal with it there and then, you can always just receive the emotion, because it's always a gift. So receive the emotion that's come up and go through this process. Okay, what is the emotion? What does it mean about me? Where did that come from? And what is the truth? And that's where it's really powerful. Really powerful that you can literally deal with anything really easily. And you know what? The more you do it, the more trust you have in yourself, the more truth comes out, the more love you have for yourself and for others, because you just realize that everything really is perception. So much fun.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
But if you have an emotion around anything, and this is where you'll always know that is actually triggering a belief that isn't in alignment with who you are. So always just use your emotions as a tool rather than letting it take over, because it'll always tell you something about yourself. So, okay. So I don't know who this third person is. I might just check in and see. Who have we got here? Who's called in? Oh,
it's all right. Alexis knows me. I'm Joe. I just had some problems with my camera to start off with.
Oh, well, we've got you here, which is awesome. Thank you for joining us. So how did you go with the exercise?
It's really triggering for me. I can't believe, especially that last little explanation that you've given.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many lies I'm actually telling myself to prevent myself from doing what I want to do. I did the last one, and it's all about what I want to do as a job and that sort of thing. And I paint. So it's about that. So my emotions were like feeling unsupported, but also nonplussed, not fussed, not, like distanced.
Yeah.
Like really distanced from it.
Yeah.
And I came up with what it feels for me like it's too hard, it's a struggle, it's a procrastination for me.
Yeah.
And when I started looking at where it came from, there's a message in society about the struggling artist for a start. But listening to what you were just saying, it's me telling me this.
Yeah.
It's no one else. It's me telling myself, and I'm doing it to protect myself from putting myself out there.
Yes.
So, yeah. What the truth is, that I can achieve any level of success I desire, and I know that, but I find it really hard to take, and I mean, don't get me wrong, this message has been reinforced at different points in my life with different things, but I find it really hard to actually take that step that puts me out there in the spotlight. Yeah. Hence why the camera wasn't on when we started.
But now it's on, so maybe you've shifted that.
But now it's on.
Yeah. The other thing that was coming up as you were talking is that you have a massive fear of pain. Emotional pain, physical pain.
Emotional, of getting hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Of loss.
So if I can just share with you that the only person that allows you to get hurt is yourself, which you already know. And this is where using these...
Yeah, but getting it...
Well, use these processes, use the processes and start to use the emotions. So if pain comes up or fears or whatever, you can just use it as a trigger or a tool to say, okay, what is the emotion around this? What does it mean about me? Where does it come from, and what is the truth? And you keep going through that. It's so easy that you end up not being fearful after a while. It's feeling the emotions. We block the emotions, and that's where, again, you said the untruths come up and you just lie to yourself. So we're all going to get out there and start telling the truth.
Okay. Did you hear that lie? Did you hear that lie? I can even spot it when I'm doing it, but I can't stop myself when I'm there.
Yeah, because there might be ego coming in saying, oh, I have to appear a certain way, or I have to be a certain way. And like what I said to the girls, when you know that you already are that, then you're allowed to speak your truth without judgment. And knowing that when you don't judge yourself means that it, like when you judge yourself, it actually gives other people permission to judge you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm giving that permission away every day.
Okay, so you know what? It'll take 3 times of you acknowledging, oh, I'm judging myself, or if you judge others. If you judge others, it means you're judging yourself, which means that you're giving them permission to judge you. It's like this stupid game that we play, right? But as soon as we come up with the truth that we are just love and joy, that we are just, you know, angels here having an experience together, nothing is really serious. It's just an experience we're having, and let's just have fun. Then that is all we're meant to be doing. And that ends up being the truth time and time again. If anything else comes up, it's not true. We weren't ever meant to judge ourselves. We weren't ever meant to hide. We weren't ever meant to be anything other than just love and joy. And that is the truth. So.
Sorry, you went all spacey on my computer there. Cool.
maybe I've got spacey for a reason. So I've just said that all you just need to know that you're love and joy, and that's all you are. That's all that the truth that you need to know. If any other truths or beliefs come up, you then turn it around and go, well, where did that come from? Never. And usually it is a perception we've created. Or someone taught us, like the belief that someone, you know, the struggling artist thing. It's not true. So, and then you can actually prove to yourself that it's not true by actually Googling successful artists.
Yeah. I don't need to cut my ear off. I know that much.
No, that's awesome. There's something else that came up that I wanted to talk about, and now it's just gone. So, what's that about? I can't remember now. It was really cool, actually. Obviously not meant to be. So if it comes up again, so I'm just going to mute you just because we've got a little bit of background noise there. So
yeah, it's cool.
Okay, so make sure you guys do this on a regular basis. So knowing that your emotions are simply a tool for you to use. And sometimes we think about, we're wanting to feel the good emotions, but the not good emotions are the ones that we need to focus on. The thing is, most of the time we don't even know that we have them. So it's just really connecting to the not feeling good. And then sometimes we can sit in that for 24 hours. It's crazy, right? We can sit in that and just go, oh my God, like the world's ending. And then all of a sudden we go, hang on a sec, I can do something about this. And that's where you sit down and go through the process. So it's a really quick and easy process and something that you can do every day. But the other thing that I really want you guys to do is be completely in the moment and just be the observer of what's going on around you, because it's always going to be showing you more about yourself. And so if there's things that you can't see about yourself that are obvious, then you can pretty much look at everything that's going on around you and see, like you're given messages and signs all the time. So you can see exactly what you need to know, and that we're never stuck, we're never lost. And it's simply just journeying within our inner world and having this self-awareness and this self-questioning to know exactly what our truth is. And you'll see time and time again, you'll just get back to the fact that we are just pure love and joy, and let's just get out there and have fun. So that's pretty much why we're here. And that's why a lot of people go, I want to know what my purpose is. Well, go out and just have fun. And that is exactly what you need to do because that's all we're meant to be doing here. So anything else isn't really aligned with who we are. So that's what I'm actually wanting to mention next, is that if you've really loved this process that we've done today, and you want to play a little bit more in these concepts of, being aligned, being focused on mastering your inner self, being the observer of what's going on, and to be able to access like what I call this inner truth, and also the universal wisdom that's available to us. I've got this little special at the moment in a group called Staying Aligned, and it's a group where I have a Facebook page that every day I put tips and processes on that Facebook, in that Facebook group, to keep us aligned with exactly who we are, what we need to do. And it's more tools. So it's more about tools as to how you can stay in there. Lots of ritual stuff. So lots of things that you can do every day. But also as part of that group, we also have 2 calls like this a month, where, if anyone's got any questions or gets stuck with anything, then they can just bring it to the group. I mean, you can always post it in the Facebook group, but you can bring it into the call. But also I'll be teaching more tools and more processes like I've done today, because there's so many. Like I think I've counted more than 100 different ways that we can stay aligned, and really owning who we are, what our truth is, and really just delve into the deeper elements of what's going on within us. So I'll pop that into the email that I send through to you guys. There is also an option to have a personal catch-up one-on-one as well. So I've got this little special. It's only $29 a month, where you can be part of all of that. And I'll send you through a little email afterwards with the links to have a look, to check that out. But it's just pretty much staying aligned. I really set up the group to make sure that I stay aligned. And I'm just taking you all with me. And it's actually really kept me aligned in my processes, being the observer constantly, and just being open to receive more tools, more ideas, more concepts to really to connect to who we are. So thank you, ladies, for joining me today and sharing your, delving into the deeper elements. Again, I also have the Universal Abundance group, which is a free group that you guys can just hang out in and share these as well. But the other one is going a little bit deeper, and we get to work a lot closer on all of these. So you can jump into there, and I'll send you through the link on how to do that. And that special is only available for 24 hours, and then it's going to double. So so I'll pop all that out there for you guys. And again, I'd love to hear how you go with these processes, and again, share with me in that private, that free group as to how you go with those, because you're never stuck. You don't actually have blocks. They're just beliefs that aren't aligned with who you are. And we're just here to have fun, and I'm just bringing as many people with me to have fun with. So who's into having fun? Yay! Okay, darlings, have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. See ya!